Hi, it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for another video edition of Widower Wednesday. I'm Abel Keogh, author of Dating a Widower, and today we're going to discuss a question I get from women dating widowers and quite frequently from widowers themselves. And that question is, what does it feel like to fall in love again? Widowers will ask this question because they're widowed and dating again, and they have all these conflicting, crazy emotions going through them, and they want to know when they're basically asking, how do I know if this is the right person or not, if this is a real relationship or not, or if this is a relationship that's, it's fake, I guess, that I'm maybe just there for the wrong reasons. And for the women who are dating widowers, the context of their question is usually along the lines of, hey, I'm dating somebody. We've had a discussion about whatever the future, our relationship, and I say that I love him, and he's confused. He doesn't know how he feels. So the good news is that whether you're a widower or a woman dating a widower, I have an answer for you. And basically you'll know, for widowers, you'll know that you're in love again when you feel the exact same way for this woman as you did for the late wife. The feelings of love the second time around are not different. Now I know that there's some of you out there that are shaking your head or thinking like, wait, how can this be? So I'm going to put an analogy out there, see if that works for you. If not, I got a second one coming up too. But basically, for those of you who have kids, I want you to think about, and let's put it this way, for those of you who have more than one kid, you love your kids. Hopefully you love them equally. And think about the feelings that you have for your kids, and some of them may really try your patience. I have 7 kids, and I know some of them are just angels, and some of them try my patience. But despite the differences in them and all their quirks and wonderful things about them, I love them equally. Even when they drive me crazy, I still love them equally. So if you have kids, I want to think about the love you have for your kids, and do you love your kids differently? It's no different with a spouse. And people are thinking, well, it's marriage, it's da da da. No, it's not different. The first time I realized this, and it was a really weird, confusing feeling. I didn't understand it. It wasn't until I got a little more into the relationship with Julie that I understood it. So, but I can remember, and if you've read Room for Two, the stories in Room for Two, but Julie and I would go on morning runs together when we were dating, and it was, I don't know, after one of these runs, we were just kind of lying there on the couch, and we'd cooled down. We were just kind of taking a little break before we had to get up and go to work. And I remember lying there with her, and I had this overwhelming feeling of comfort, and it just felt just so natural and so wonderful. But all at the same time, I was like, this is the exact same feelings I had, I don't know, when the late wife and I, whatever, were watching TV on the couch, or we're just kind of cuddled up like this, exact same feelings. Nothing was different. And that really confused me. I was like, well, why am I feeling this way? But it turns out that it was a good sign. It was the exact same feelings I had for the late wife. And I've talked, and it isn't just my experience. I've talked to lots of other widowers. If you talk to widowers who are remarried and happily remarried and the relationship is strong, they'll basically tell you the same thing, that the feelings that they have for their late wife or for their new wife or their new girlfriend aren't any different than they had for the late wife. And if a widower tells you that, ladies, don't take that as a bad sign. Don't take it that he's comparing you, because he's not comparing you in a bad way. He's like, I have these same feelings for you, and that's a good thing. You want the widower to have the same feelings of love, because however people feel that, it's the same from spouse to spouse, and it just is. And then for those out there who think, well, I'm still full of crap, well, maybe talk to some of your divorced friends who have remarried and ask them, when they were in love with their ex-spouse and in love with their current spouse or whatever, if those feelings were different. And odds are they're going to tell you that the feelings of love they had when they fell in love with their spouse were exactly the same. Doesn't matter if they're the ex-spouse or whatever. So, so for the widowers out there, it's a good sign if you feel the same way for your new girlfriend as you do the late wife. Don't freak out. It's not a bad thing. It is a good thing. And for the ladies out there, again, if he says he loves you like the same way he loves the late wife, it's probably not a good way to phrase it. I would not phrase it that way. I have not phrased it to Julie that way. But if he explains that, yeah, I love you, and it's the same, whatever, it's the same kind of love. I feel the same way about you as I did for my late wife. It's take that as a good thing, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a red flag. And I will say too that before I met Julie, I was in a serious relationship. It was a serious long distance relationship. We went downside each other, and I never had those feelings for her. I liked her a lot. We had a good time together. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed spending time together. But just that feeling of connection and that feeling of love that I had for late wife was just never there. And of course, at that time, it wasn't a red flag. I was thinking like, well, it's a different woman. I should be feeling differently. And the truth is, you want to cut it down and get down to the bare bones. Love is the same, and don't take that as a bad thing. If widowers, if you're feeling that way, it means you're with the right person. Ladies, if he has those same kind of feelings, that's a good thing. If he's saying he feels differently, and that's something I get a lot. He says he feels differently. Get him to explain what he means by a differently. Maybe he's just confused if he feels the same way or whatever. But basically, if he's feeling the same way about you, it's a good sign. So there you go. There's your quick thing to how widowers can know that they're falling in love again. Very easy. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe. Please leave a comment about this topic or any others you'd like to see addressed below. Also got a video for you to watch. Enjoy that as well. I'm Abel Keogh, author of Dating a Widower, and I will see you next Wednesday.